everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Will's Mountain Homestead. My name is Wendy, and today I'm going to give you a garden tour and show you what we have growing in our garden. We are going to be harvesting a lot of zucchini starting tomorrow, and everything is just flourishing at this point. We do have a lot of pests, and I will show you the damage that has been done, but let's take a tour here. I have 3 rows of tomatoes, and I have found that using the cattle panels for myself is the easiest way to trellis them. I used to do the weaving like in between these rows, but I think next year I'm switching over to using complete cattle panel fencing for staking up my tomatoes. And we have a lot of beefsteak, Roma, and black strawberry cherry tomatoes that we are growing. And everything is doing really well. Today has been the first day that we've had a cool morning that has been lower than 71 degrees when we wake up. So the plants needed a cool night. And trying to show you some here. Here we go. Here's some of our black strawberry cherry tomatoes. And these are just absolutely delicious. They are my daughter's favorite by far. This is a tomatillo, and these get the husks on them. And I like to do white chicken chili with this, so you can go ahead and prepare that in freezer bags for over the winter. And I will show you how to do that later when these come in. But just look how pretty. My plan with all 3 rows of tomatoes is making spaghetti sauce, pizza sauce, salsa, tomato soup, and that kind of thing, because we are completely out of most of it, and it looks like we're going to get a pretty good yield out of what we have planted so far. This is my medicinal herb bed right here, and this beautiful plant is borage, and you guys, I've got so many pests I can't get rid of them. So if you see little creepy crawlies, I have bugs in my garden, so we're dealing with it. The whole plant can be used. These flowers can be dried and used in tea. The leaves can actually be dried, used in tea, or eaten like you would spinach. So you can just cut it up, put it in a salad, or you can actually cook it. It is up to you, but we're gonna be harvesting and drying out this whole plant here. I have holy basil right there. This is marshmallow root. And look at how beautiful this is. This is called lion's tail. Now, it's usually grown in very warm climates, and I'm hoping that, you know, we can use some of this to be able to dry it out and use for medicinal purposes. But this part here is really what you're after, and mine are like really droopy, so I don't know if I haven't watered it enough. If this is the first year planting, maybe the second year they do better. I really don't know. So this is all new to me. So any suggestions would be helpful if you have grown this plant before. But it is really, really pretty. This jungle bush here is yarrow, and this can also be used medicinally. So what we will do is come in here and clip the leaves off, and then we will come in and cut the flowers and dry all of this out as well. And then we will use that and make salve out of it. Moving over, my lettuce has just about kicked the bucket. I actually had a groundhog in here, and it took out quite a bit of my stuff. So he has been relocated, so he is no longer a pest to my garden. But with all these hot days that we've had, it's going to be time to start reseeding some new, because we usually don't have June weather that's this hot, and my lettuce will stay all year round, but not this year. It is going to seed already. tomorrow morning I'm going to be coming in and picking the rest of my peas, and you can see these plants are dying back because peas are a cooler weather crop and it doesn't really like the 90 to 100 degree weather. My cucumbers are doing really well. I don't like to make and can pickles. I like to do refrigerator pickles like the bread and butter. So I've harvested maybe 5 or 6 and just made normal dill refrigerator pickles, and I'm waiting to get a bigger yield to do the bread and butter. But you can see trellising them, you know, they just hang. They're beautiful. See, these are the bugs that I have, and you guys, I just showed a video the other day of using a vacuum to get them out, and I need to come in and do that again because these are just ridiculous. This is my spaghetti squash, and you can see I have little ones on here already, which is exciting. Hi, sweetheart. I have a friend with me, and they're doing really well. And if you train them to vine up, they will grow right up your cattle panel and save you a ton of space in your garden. We are growing cantaloupe for the first time this year, and it's vining. I'm not getting any fruit, and what I am getting is just drying up and falling off. So I don't know if it's just been the heat. They've definitely had enough water. So I don't know. Maybe they need more fertilizer. It's one of those things I'm just gonna have to research and look up. But the plants look healthy themselves. It's just the fruit's not producing. Our pumpkins are massive. I only have 4 plants going up this trellis, and look at how big they have spread. So I've come in with some twine and have kind of like tacked them up here and there. You can see I have some right here just to secure the plant to the trellis until they actually start using their own tines and going around the panels. But you guys, we are getting pumpkins. I have actually quite a few big ones in here. Like there's one down in there. You can see that big guy. But everything in the pumpkin patch, so to speak, is doing really well. This is a cucamelon, and hopefully it grows. We'll see. It's starting to, but something's nabbing at it because it's lopped off some of the leaves there. I have a volunteer tomato, a couple watermelon plants, and then a mystery plant. It's either going to be a loofah or a Tahitian melon. I'm really not sure. So whatever that's going to be, we'll find out here in a few weeks. But these are doing well too, and it's just a matter of time to see if we get anything off of these plants. Moving over, these are the Chinese noodle beans. They are growing up the trellis as well, and they are just about as tall as I am at this point. And these get really, really long. They are good in stir fries. So if you're looking to try a different type of bean, this would be one I would recommend because you get a lot for just a little bit of your seeds. And these are just my green beans that I have. And again, they're climbing up the trellis as well. At the end of this, I do have lemongrass that I plant every year because I do like to freeze that come fall for in making broth. This is just another cattle panel of green beans. And again, you can see they are climbing right up the cattle panel trellising. My Swiss chard is going absolutely crazy, and as a family of 3, there's no way we can eat this much Swiss chard. So I have been sharing with family and friends, and then also if, you know, we have an abundance like this, I will come in, cut some of these leaves back and take them down to our chickens. It's food for them that, you know, they can munch on and get some greens into their diet as well. So you guys, I am so proud of this right here. This is my first artichoke that I have ever grown, and I believe it's just about ready to harvest. You can see that the leaves are starting to pull away, and that's how you know when it's ready. So I have one here. I have a tiny one over here as well. My calendula needs lopped off. I've got a lot of dead flowers that I need to pick, or they will fall and reseed and get really, it'll just be an overabundance of them. Same with my poppies. In here are 3 of my celery plants, and these are getting to the point now that what I like to do is come in, cut these greens back and dehydrate them. And it's great for making soup over the winter, or if you're going to make vegetable broth, it's a great way to use your celery. Again, a first year for us on both of these. I'm growing fennel, and my main use in this is going to be making fennel and carrot soup to can. And then we have goji berries. So this is the first year for them, so I'm not expecting anything this year and possibly nothing next year either. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, these are just really doing well. And if you didn't know, this tastes like a licorice. So if you pull this off and bite it, it does have a licorice taste to it. We have had a week and a half of temperatures over 90 degrees, and you guys, that will wreak havoc in your garden no matter where you are. And I only had 1 piece of shade cloth, so I chose to use it over my culinary herb bed, and it really seemed to help. I do have to come in and like cut some of my dill back. It's starting to bolt, same with my cilantro. Everything in here really needs just cut back and dried. But I've got parsley, chamomile, sage, oregano, dill. I have my basil right in here. And we almost have enough to make some pesto with. And if you just have a little bit of this, you can make tea out of it, like sun tea, and it's delicious. I have thyme down in here. I have rosemary hiding back in there. And I have a really big weed. Is that a weed? I think that's a weed. That's a weed. I've got some peas that need harvested, and then that plant needs pulled. And somehow I ended up with a borage plant over here. I don't know how that happened, but at least it'll bring pollinators into this area of the garden. So my pepper plants are doing okay. They're still relatively small. I will say that the extreme heat that we had really helped them grow. But, you know, like here's one here. I'm gonna say that's a poblano because I didn't mark anything when I planted them, so it's all a guessing game at this point. So that's either a poblano or a jalapeno, but I'm gonna say a poblano. If I move over here, these are our zucchinis. And like I said, I'm gonna start harvesting these tomorrow to make pickles and zucchini bread. And they are just doing, oh, squash bug. Squash bug. You gotta get them when you see them. They're doing really well. There's another one. And you guys, my hands are always dirty when I'm in the garden, and it just is what it is. Wash them up good when you go in. Squash the bugs. But there's another one down in there. Here's 2 over here. And we're growing acorn squash this year. I wanted another variety of a winter squash, and we're doing acorns. I love the nutty flavor of these. So we're gonna give these a try and see how well they store. Tons of flowers. These are really easy to seed save. So what you do is just come in when they've all dried up, and my fingers are yellow, and these are the seeds. So lay them out and dry them, or if you just do this and just sprinkle them down in, they'll reseed themselves. Very easy. And there's a banana pepper. This huge unknown plant that we have growing in the middle of our garden was a volunteer, and I have come through and cut some of the bottom leaves off of it. But you guys, it looks like it's just your normal zucchini plant, and there's probably 4 of them in this mound, and that's why it is growing so massive. Now I do have a trellis cage around it to like help keep it supported, and you can kind of see it in there. And it's just growing up through that. That's why it looks really, really tall. But always a good idea to come in and prune off these bottom leaves. I need to go around to the other side as well. But yeah, it's a abnormally huge zucchini plant. This is my weedy area, and I ran out of straw and compost mulch, so it just is what it is. I will put in some cooler weather plants here in the next 2 months, or if I start to see a lot of damage within my zucchinis, I'll plant new zucchini plants in this area here later. But we have corn growing. We've already harvested the main amount of broccoli, so you can see the heads there. We need to come in and harvest those as well. Keep the plants on your broccoli. They will continue to grow offshoots, and you can harvest them pretty much for the most of the summer. This is my row of Yukon Gold potatoes, and they have already flowered and they are starting to die back, which is what you want to see. Now, what we'll do is, I always like to wait at least where there's a week where we don't have any rain, and then I will come in and harvest this entire row. We'll can potatoes, we'll can potato soup base, we will do soup, vegetable soup, you know, whatever we can get canned and put up on the shelf for over the winter. That's what we're gonna do with our potatoes. I have 3 more stalks of celery plants here. And then we get to my pork cabbages. We have had a really bad infestation with cabbage worms. It is under control right now. The last 2 days when I've come out, I haven't seen any in the plant, and the heads are looking much better. So there's 1, there's 2. This one is the smallest one, but there's no damage to the inside leaves, so I'm hoping that that is a plus. And this is looking like the nicest one that we have. But you guys, that's my garden, and this will feed us for most of the summer and really does help like cut down on our grocery bills, especially since we hunt too, so the only thing we're purchasing is really some fresh fruit and flour to make bread with and dough. So, you know, everything else is coming straight from the garden. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Come back, watch more of what I have to show you on how to garden and can your bountiful harvest. And you guys take care and God bless.